Yeah, it's a credible leaker. Can he breathe louder for fuck's sake and shit? I want to hear that nostril shit. The little hair and shit. It's like,
Just that one just fucking flailing.
Congested. Get out of here.
welcome Nerd Chatter, podcast where we discuss recent stories from the entertainment, gaming, and tech industries. Get the boys, Lucas and Kenny today. What up, boys?
Oh, what it do?
Hey, what up?
On this week's show, we'll chat a little bit more about Ahsoka, a new episode of that, and we're going to talk about the Starfield release. But before we get into that, if you hit us with that like and subscribe, be much appreciated on whatever platform you're listening to us on. What are we going to talk about, boy? Let's say Ahsoka, because I think we all experienced Ahsoka, and in Starfield, it's just going to be you, Lucas, because I'm not about to drop fucking $70 on a Bethesda game. I learned my lesson.
You're not missing much.
I really wish I still had my Game Pass now. It's like they explicitly upload shit to their catalogs when I have the subscription. So it's like when I had...
Whose fault is that?
Well, I mean, I had Game Pass. I'm not going to have both. If I don't play either, I'm not going to pay for both. I'll pay for one. Like, that's it. That's as much as the sacrifice I'll give to the industry.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, is to pay for both.
Yeah, so like, and I get the PS5 is new, so I'm hoping that new games pop up that I can put it to use and shit. So... naturally, and I'm not going to whip out the first gen Xbox X or whatever the fuck I have. Xbox One, actually.
Well, that's not even going to run. That'll be really bad.
That's not even going to run.
I'm not going to do that, and I don't know. I haven't looked into whether or not it's PC compatible, like crossover bullshit with.
It's on PC.
Ultimate. Okay, so yeah, if it's on PC, then I'm covered.
It's on PC.
Yeah, it's on PC. We'll get to it. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah. So.
Ahsoka sucks for me. It's boring. I'm sorry.
Have you seen Rebels? Is that why it sucks?
I got through like half of Rebels.
Oh, that's why, fool.
And then I watched like multiple YouTube videos to catch me up and like refresh, right? The storyline is cool. It's boring.
Filoni is relying on your attachment to the characters, especially in the last like season specifically.
Oh, your member berries.
Yeah.
Member berries? Did they include girl power?
Yes, actually. Hera was like always like fucking crazy. Except Sabine, I guess she's kind of like sucks. But like, really when it comes down to it, like this show has zero regard for anybody who either doesn't like Rebels or has never seen Rebels. Like 100%. Just imagine. And like I can't even, and hearing people comment, especially like super nerds, like super Star Wars nerds, trying to comment on behalf of people who have never seen Rebels or any of the animated series, and they're just like, no, it's a really good show. It's like, bro, you can't even get your head in that same space. You gotta understand that these people have no fucking idea who anybody is, including Ahsoka. Like, it's not just like a nothing. Like this entire live action show is based on something that is kind of a niche part of Star Wars fandom. You know what I mean? Like not.
Yeah, like if you watch the whole entire like movie series. And that's
it. There's no reference.
You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, whales in space, bro. Like,
where did they come from?
Is going on?
Where did they come? Who was high when they wrote this story?
It's like, wait, there's a different type of magic. Like, what is going on? And like, what the fuck? So we're gonna
still Jedi's though, right?
I mean, kinda. I don't even know. Like, I guess they're calling them Force users now, right? Especially with like Skull and what's her face. Who's he's such a dope character, bro. Like I thought he was gonna be like Balin Skull is he's like I thought it was gonna be like a shit character, but that dude's got some had some acting like presence, you know what I mean? Like he's subtle, he's like brooding. He did a voice on Rebels actually of one of the Mandalorians that like went crazy and shit. But he's just brooding. He does have that giant knight like kind of vibe to him, and his fighting style was very much like your Western, or I guess European style knight shit, double-handed, heavy strokes, like long sword.
It's a certain style of Jedi fighting.
Yeah, I've heard so many people fucking rattling off all these different styles all of a sudden. It's like, oh my god! So now here we're gonna fucking go. It's like. A year ago, like 99.999% of the population had no fucking idea that there were different type of like saber fighting styles and shit. Which I mean, it's obvious if you watch. But like now people are like, oh yeah, she's using this and he's using this and he's also using. It's like, shut the fuck, bro. Like, I get it. You read Wikipedia this morning. I get it. Like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, like I'm just saying that the reference, it's all just, you got the Kurosawa inspiration in regards to just your Asian influence, right? Your martial arts aspect of it. And then you have your, Knights of the Round Table, your the Mandalorian helmet and I wouldn't say Mandalorian, but like Boba Fett, helmet was originally designed to kind of give off the vibe of like an old, knight, that type of thing. It's like there's those two influences that meld together to create, what is Star Wars and shit. So this is Filoni, very, very heavy-handedly and appreciatively, to be honest. I appreciate it, but like he's showing you these two very dramatic, different sides of like the original inspiration for Star Wars to begin with. So from like a nerd, tear down and a, appreciate type perspective, like, yeah, he's geeking out, but like you, Lucas, like you didn't watch any like the end parts of like Rebels or anything like that, so you don't really have like a connection to the shit that he's like pushing out there. And it's about to get weird, bro. Shit's about to get fucking super weird. And
because they're about to ride some space whales.
I mean, okay, so there was a leak this morning, and
what if they're all on spice?
I mean, I think
and they're
everybody
just not even in
there's
space.
got to be some type of like residual, like
They're just in a room.
like a half-life of
they're in
space, like
they're like in the temple, sitting in a circle, all high on spice, thinking that they're riding whales. And then the last episode, Ezra just
Grogu
walks in and is
shows.
like, "What's up, dude?"
yeah, and he's got like shorts on and shit, and he just came from the beach.
Yeah.
He's
Eating
stoned
Cheeto
out.
puffs.
He's
Cheeto
like,
puff balls.
yeah, it's like Pacific Beach in California. I'm like, what the fuck, where are we? What is this? It's like that Halloween
Sipping on
episode
a
of The
This is like an
Simpsons.
Sipping on a Slurpee.
This is an Earth-like planet.
Well, that's what I was joking with, because I told Garrett about the leak, and he's like, "Mum's a word, don't say anything." And I was like, what did I tell him? I was like, Anakin is actually Jar Jar and shit. That's not fucking that's not Anakin in the World Between Worlds and shit. And I was like, Palpatine like it inhabits Jar Jar, and he has a fist like hand-to-hand combat with Mantis from Earth 9 like 616 in the other in the other galaxy and shit. And he was like, what the fuck? But we are going to get into like this leak, and this is going to be one of those where it's kind of like breaking news in terms of like when it was released. It was like an hour before the show recorded. It's probably reported on by numerous outlets already, but this was something that's a bit spicy and is going to kind of spoil things for you. So on the screen here, I'll flash the timestamp for you to skip to if you do not want to have Ahsoka spoiled for you. But this leak was from what is it? It's My Time to Shine. I'm not sure if you've heard of It's My Time to Shine.
He's a leaker.
Or My Time to Shine. Hello. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a credible leaker. Can he breathe louder, for fuck's sake and shit? I want to hear that nostril shit. The little hair and shit. It's like,
Just that one just fucking
A
flailing.
little congested. Get out of here.
Some dicks or something.
So skip to this timestamp on the screen if you do not want to hear this. Also, I will awkwardly edit in the timestamp here verbally because for the podcast and stuff like that. 3330. But here is the leak. Thrawn is using Night Sisters and an army of zombie stormtroopers in the other galaxy to find a way back. Thrawn has henchmen named Enoch with a golden mask. Ezra is not with them. They split ways a long time ago, and Ezra developed a new force power, a force karate. The season ends with Thrawn winning. He's back in the main Star Wars galaxy and is ready to take over. They're also teasing an even greater threat that will soon come, greater than Thrawn. So Jedi karate fighting space zombies is basically what we're getting.
Was this what we're spitting around the table while we're writing this?
They're just like high as fuck and shit. Is this
Karate.
that meme
Karate
of
space.
that meme of Elon on the Joe Rogan show? He's just got the fucking joint.
Yeah.
Just everybody at the writing team.
Just holding it in his two fingers, just holding it, and I'm just like, damn,
Fucking,
Space karate.
Yeah. Fucking
Monkeys.
Filoni is smoking like a cross joint and shit from fucking Pineapple Express and shit. Like, yeah. So basically, at the end of Rebels, what happens is there's a couple of key things that are pretty much crucial in regards to where this show picks up. Is that Sabine has Ezra's lightsaber because he gave it to her at the end, right?
Yeah.
Either gave it to her or she got it from before he sacrificed himself, and he's in that new galaxy, right? Where presumably there's no Kyber. Which there's no spice for them to do any type of hyperspace travel. Possibly, I have no idea.
Because they're smoking it on that.
Yeah, they're all smoking it and should have sniffing it. But there's going to be some type of okay, so here's their limitations in this new galaxy and stuff like that. I had speculated with Garrett that, and this is my, and I guess we'll. Who do you think Anakin is? There's a lot of speculation on the internet right now as to who Anakin is in that last scene of Ahsoka, right? Because people who haven't seen it,
a lot of people are saying it's the brother that's like the dark side of the Force.
Okay, so that's what I thought it was, because
or it's the sister or the father, like one of the three.
Because the father would help Ahsoka, right? Because she's the bird or whatever. She combined.
No, that's the daughter. No, so the daughter sacrificed herself to revive.
So she's the bird, right? And then he is the brother is just
the brother.
The brother, right? She did something with Ahsoka, right? She combined essences or something and turned into her. There's some type of connection
to resurrect her. Keep her alive.
So I do also think that it is the brother. I didn't know that it was that's probably the main theory out there. I figured that it was probably going to be it's just Anakin, and we don't know anything. That's what Garrett said. He's we don't know anything about the world between worlds. We don't know if ghosts do chill there. Maybe they do, and we didn't see it. They don't ever hint on that. My thing is I told him, I was I've just never seen a Force ghost that's solid. You know what I mean? It's weird to see him standing there, and especially it almost seemed intentionally kind of fake. And it almost. And I can't put it past him, because you remember fucking, what was it, Rogue One with Leia at the end of that movie. Oh, the CGI on that was horrible.
Yeah, obviously CGI's got a lot better.
Yeah, so I would assume that it would be pretty easy to make it not look that weird and creepy. So I think it was intentional. It was supposed to give you a bit of an uncanny valley, where you look at him and be is that Anakin? What the fuck? I speculated to him that she gave in a bit to the dark side just before she got flipped, tossed off that.
Well, I mean, you can kind of see it, obviously, when she's pulling the robot or whatever, the mercenary,
oh yeah, the little
she you can see tendencies you wouldn't see a normal.
She's definitely unorthodox in regards to and she's more neutral. That's why her blades are white. That's the whole thing about her. She's supposed to be that. What Rey was a pathetic attempt at being. It's it was Ahsoka was the first. That's the one that was supposed to be she is the true balance. But no, I'm talking about. Good.
Well, when the show was going on, I had the what do you call it, closed captioning on, and at the end when Anakin actually pops up and it's gonna the scene's about to end.
Oh, the Vader
it says
music.
Vader music starts to play.
Well, you can hear it. It gave me chills and chills. Ooh,
yeah.
I was ooh, yeah.
And I was oh, okay, that's where I got excited, right? And I was hey, this is good. This is going good. It's gonna be great.
With that, it was the fact that he's in his Clone Wars outfit. It's the first time you ever see Anakin Skywalker in live action.
Yeah.
The blue and brown-ish black leather looking suit,
Shit,
where it's I can I know it's all grady and shit. I can see him with the shoulder pad, the Jedi armor that goes over that outfit. That's all I wanted to see. The hair was right. Scar wasn't as visible, even though the scar was there. Yeah, it was kind of small, but
probably had to do with the de-aging and shit.
But I mean, he had it in the movie in episode 3. It was there. You know what I mean? It was very visible. It was huge. It was a huge scar on his eye. You know.
That fool's also 40 now.
Yeah, but he doesn't look that bad, to be honest. You know, I don't think it
No.
would be that. I think makeup alone would probably make him look young enough.
Maybe it's because of like the CGI look. It's just kind of like fading it out or something.
I think they probably did intentional to give, like I said, to make it seem like, is it real? Everything here, even she kind of looked a little polished and weird in that scene, you know. So it's like,
Well, what do
yeah,
they call this part? The like in between
The world between
the
worlds.
world between worlds.
Yeah. And wait, what happened was Ezra got caught in the world between worlds in Rebels, and Ahsoka, she was fighting Vader, right? And it was in the future.
Ezra,
and then Ezra
right?
pulls her into the world, or pulls her into
Those
the world.
mirrors
world.
things,
The
right? Those
saber.
mirrors or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
This is so much like that's like you need to know all of that, bro. Like people are gonna be so fucking lost. Like that.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, why is she here?
What is this? What is this place? Like, no, there's probably not going to be any explanation either. You know, like it's not going to
100%
be
there's
like
not.
like Anakin's going to be like, as you remember, years ago, you were once here when your
Flashback or
buddy
something.
Ezra pulled you in here to save. You know, like they're not going to do that.
Yeah, no.
Do you think this kills like the series for a lot of people?
No, I think it'll probably rejuvenate like diehard fans and stuff. But my
Like
thing,
people are gonna
when
have to go watch it again and be like, oh, let me watch Rebels.
I think it'll probably get people like a little bit interested into it. My thing is like this is the app, and I told Gary I was like, this is because he was like, good. They they need to like give the fans like good shows. I was like, yeah, but this is like the worst time in film and television history to alienate any of your viewers. You know what I mean? Like, you need everything you can get right now, and like a lot of your standard viewers are gonna just not know what the hell's going on, and like if they get too lost, they're just gonna tune out, and that's gonna look bad, and it's not gonna look good for a second season, which I'm sure they're gonna push through regardless. But you know, like it's not optimal timing to start releasing something so fucking weird. Like right now, probably Boba Fett would probably do better. You know what I mean? Because people are kind of starved for content, and then at the same time, they'll take what they can get when it comes to Star Wars. But releasing something like this, where it's so niche and good quality, I think it's still good quality. I know you didn't like the fighting and stuff like that, but
Yeah, why is it so boring?
I mean, I don't think Rosario Dawson is Hayden Christensen level trained with the saber for one thing. But
Is that what it is? Is that what they're trying to like put out there? Because like the saber fights are like just seem
like
so choreographed. Like they're not like smooth.
Yeah, because I think that
Sabine just sucks.
Sabine. So basically, Sabine. That's part of her her character.
But yeah, she's like new. Still.
Yeah, and like
She's still working on it.
she's not going to be the Mandalorian Jedi that it's going to be like Grogu or some shit. However, she may become force sensitive, and that story attaches with Grogu, who is also a Mandalorian in training, but a Jedi first. And she is a Mandalorian first, becoming a Jedi, right? So you could have that what is a dichotomy or whatever, to start a new Jedi Council, Jedi Order, which especially with the Rey series coming up in the future, that's supposed to be focused on that. So I could see Grogu and like Sabine, probably even Hera getting pulled in and shit like that, making that flight suit look good. What up?
I want to see Marok fucking come back from the dead.
He
got sliced. All right.
Well,
but Sabine gets stabbed, and we're all okay with it.
He was just full of spice.
So basically, what it is, it's Dark Sister magic, right? Or Night Sister magic.
So
it was green.
Real?
No, he was a zombie. And that's what this leak is even reinforcing, is that Thrawn is using Night Sisters and an army of zombie stormtroopers in another galaxy to find a way back. I don't know how the Night Sisters are there or involved or anything like that when they're over there. I have no idea. Obviously, What's-Her-Face is a Night Sister in disguise. There's even times where you can hear like that double voice when she says something. I remember it's like, oh, her voice sounded kind of like double pitched, like in the show, because it sounded like multiple people talking when the Night Sister talked or whatever. I forget the main Night Sister.
Yeah, it's always like towards like the end of her like speeches.
Yeah, you can hear like other voices coming through, and it's like kind of fucking cool. They are a trip design, so I can see why they're leading in with what's her face, just a basic actor looking, and then eventually they're just going to make her look crazy. But Yeah, so he is supposed to be that introduction to that concept. Because I mean, the Night Sisters they reanimate the dead. That's their thing. You know what I mean? Like, but there was also in Rebels or Clone Wars of the Inquisitor who like deflated. The one that looked dope had like the crow mask. I forgot his name. Like almost like a plague doctor type of vibe going on. But he died pretty quick by the hands of Ahsoka. And when he got sliced, he also kind of deflated, like there was nothing inside of him. This, however, was green smoke, which would imply Night Sister magic, which would mean like that fool was literally probably just a dead Jedi or Sith or something, and or Inquisitor, you know, and just reanimated his body and gave him to the two Force users to be their bitch. You know what I mean? And that's why he was like, yes, whatever you wish, you know, like that type of shit. It's gonna get funky. This is gonna get super funky. You know what I mean? Like this whole story is gonna get like really out there in regards to Star Wars. You know what I mean? And that's my issue with. I want to say issue is my concern is like people who tune in randomly and be like, what the fuck is going on?
This isn't Star Wars.
This is Star Wars? That bitch is like a witch and shit. Like fucking like there's a big ring and they're in a different galaxy. Like what the fuck is this? It's just like it's almost giving off that vibe where it's like, yeah, we might be trying to cover too much ground like too fast and shit. Like, yeah. I do want them to be like, you know, versatile with their story arcs and go in different directions and stuff, and preferably in the past, you know, so I can see some Old Republic shit. But
I was on the same page of like it's like slow to start, but I think everything was building up to this next episode because like they are releasing it in theaters, at least select theaters, so like you can tell that like, oh, this is their big middle like of the season
this
episode.
Is
And a lot of shit is gonna go down. So hopefully it all leads up to this and has some good episodes. The last four episodes.
Is it really worth paying to go see it at the theater?
Yeah,
right.
well,
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
people like those
and
opportunities.
It's going to be going up in price soon.
It's not like
so they can go fuck themselves.
It's not going to be like it's going to be at every fucking theater in your state and all that shit. It's going to be like one theater in Hollywood where 100 people get to experience it.
This is
Shut the fuck up! Well, you're so bitter. It's just, goddamn Star Wars nerds are like the most dominant nerds on the planet, and you're all like bitter that they're going to put it on the big screen and shit. Like the audacity! How fucking! Oh my god!
No, come on! It doesn't need to be in theaters.
People like those types of. What about the Halloween thing last year, right? With Hocus Pocus 2 and Werewolf by Night over at that Hollywood Memorial Cemetery or whatever. Like people just like that shit. Relax. You know, I mean, all in all, me personally, I mean, I consider the quality of it, although the chemistry between Sabine and Ahsoka is a bit rough.
yeah.
It's not like the best on-screen chemistry. I think it's mostly to do with kind of how like Rosario Dawson's playing that character a little bit. Kind of like too stoic, just a little bit too stoic. Like she smiled once, and it was like, oh, that kind of seemed more of like Ahsoka, you know, like she actually.
Does she
has
only
emotion.
do side profiles?
It kind of seems like that, right? Like she's always like creeping
She's
in on the
always
side.
just on the side, you know. Just
She probably saw herself like head on and realized how wide her head is with those tentacles and shit, and was just like, I'm gonna go on the side.
I mean, I am enjoying it though. Like I can't, even though it is slow. Like just understanding what's going on, like is a good time for me.
Knowing already the lore behind shit and seeing how they're presenting it, you know, is like fun. But for somebody who doesn't really have an interest, and I had to force myself to watch Rebels, and even after watching Rebels, I still consider it my least favorite Star Wars content. So he's got a lot of ground to cover, and even with that considering, I'm okay with it. Maybe it might be the fact that I find Ezra Miller to be like super annoying. I say Ezra Miller. Yes, that fool too and shit. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Ezra Bridger. To be fucking like super annoying, you know, like obnoxiously annoying, like kid side character level annoying. him not being in the show so far might be a benefit. Maybe the live action version of him will be super dope. I mean, these reports are saying basically because he had no lightsaber, he had to figure out how to fight without it, and he created some form of Jedi reinforced force karate or some shit. Like, yeah, I could see it. You know what I mean? Like this really kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden
Force
Dragon
kick.
type of like actual. Because I mean, the closest you got was what's his name in Rogue One with the staff and shit, the blind dude.
Yeah.
And all he did was kind of swing that thing around. I mean, we see people swing things around all the time in Star Wars, but rarely do you ever see, contact. Like you get like the force push, you'll get like a kick to the chest. I think Sabine, was kind of pulling off some hand-to-hand combat in this most recent episode in the fight in the woods. So I mean, a force reinforced form of karate, like an actual where you're kind of like like fucking airbending, bro. You know what I mean? Like essentially that's what it would look like. Is Aang from fucking Avatar. And just kind of how he like manipulates things around him to like fight, like might be kind of fucking dope, to be honest. Like that might actually be sick. It might work. You know what I mean? So
I will hold my reservations till I see it.
yeah, I mean he's also it's got to be done like really well and like made to look cool if that is the route. You know what I mean? Don't get some fool be like, hey, so you guys you want to learn karate in like 3 months and shit? Like, okay.
Yeah, if it's like karate is like shit, like
Yeah,
ass, like trying to learn it, like not being able to
it's
stretch
like a blue belt
and
and
shit.
shit.
Like,
They're like,
yeah.
Like, cool, but if it's like Ray Park level, dope ass
Oh, 100%.
choreographed and
Yeah,
like
they're like a trained.
and like the hand
martial
gestures
artist,
and
yeah.
the movements are like affecting the surroundings around him. Like, okay, like I could see that being dope as fuck.
What if they learn it like they did in Matrix?
Just like installed it,
Yeah.
downloaded
Yeah,
it
just like instinctually
from the world
know it,
between
yeah.
worlds. That's how it works and shit. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know Taekwondo.
Yeah. I think there could be potential there. I don't think that's the corniest thing. I also don't think the zombie stormtroopers is the most far out there thing. I just think that it's like, okay, so where's the explanation as to were the Night Sisters on the ship when they got sucked too? Am I tripping? Do I need to go watch
Yeah,
those last couple episodes?
The big thing is just gonna have to be like how they got there.
Yeah. I might need to go watch that
This is
last
their
couple
home
episodes to see, exactly what happened in the last few minutes of that incident. You know what I mean?
I thought when somebody jumped, I thought the person whoever was by them like got sucked in and went with them too. Does that not
No.
happen?
No, they all gotta sync up.
Oh,
Same thing. I mean, with the Palpatine, remember he like materialized those Star Destroyers out of the planet's surface in the episode 9, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all needed to like coordinate their hyper jumps and shit. Like, yeah. There's a whole thing
okay.
about it, and like,
because I was
yeah,
tripping
no.
out when that ring like jumped. I was like, why didn't they go with her?
No, this one I was like, as soon as I saw them lining up in the circle, I was like, oh, so they're just gonna jump, and this is probably gonna be where, because the way it's shaped and what it is and the size of it, it is going to take them, with them,
That's
like
what
it's
I was
gonna.
expecting, but it
but
just
no.
fucking just wrecked a bunch of.
And yeah, up until that very second where I saw the X-wings like bump into each other and explode and
Yeah.
shit like that, I thought that my theory of them being sucked into that other galaxy and finding their way back with Ezra was going to be accurate, but they had a little twist there at the last second.
Yeah, they just all decided to explode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a couple of them. You still got what's his face and like
I know my
the
boy's
ghost
still
is
alive.
still cool.
Hopefully,
The ghost is still cool and shit. All the fanboys gushing over the ghost. I don't really care for the ghost, to be honest. I don't fucking sue me. You know what I mean? But to me, it looks like a boring shit. I digress. But see that in live action, people were like super stoked about that. But I could have swore that they were going to get sucked over there and all that. Blah 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 blah. Let's say, just out of speculation, how do you think Ezra and Sabine are going to get back?
Purgles, of course. Purgles. He's got an army of Purgles.
you think he's just riding one with like reins?
Yeah.
I don't know how they fucking work. I like how they jump though, where their tails like where their tentacles kind of just like stretch out and then turn into like a cross, and
What
then
if they're
they
not even
snap
real?
closed, and that's what triggers their jump. Pretty dope. I like that design actually. And
It's gonna have to
maybe
do something with the whales.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be something with the world between worlds, and it is the brother. He's trying to coerce her because she gave in, and what I was talking about earlier was that she gave into the dark side a bit at the last second
Yeah.
because she force choked the Padawan, and then
Yeah.
like fucking chucked her head first into like a wall, like almost like
Yeah. You can
nap snacking
definitely
her.
tell that she was like
She gave
pissed
into
off
her
and
emotion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
She thought that Sabine was dead, and she was ready to fucking kill. I think that was an opportune moment for the brother to be like, "Oh, I'm taking her," and gonna try to influence her, or inhabit her, or what have you, whatever his means is.
Yeah, I think like the next episode or two are gonna be her like confronting the three.
I mean, maybe the sister is responsible for bringing Ezra and Sabine into the world between worlds to save Ahsoka from the brother to then return. Like there's a few different angles that they could do to get back.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as simple as just like just hopping on a Purgle and space traveling, because your head would probably pop like a zit.
Like talking about this, I see like the meme of like Charlie from
The-
Always Sunny in
the-
Philadelphia with
the-
the board and
all
the
the boards and
strings,
shit, yeah,
he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad last week, especially with Marok. Like, shut the fuck up. I was like, I don't want it to be any of those people. Like, I want those characters to be their characters. Like, I don't want any character that I already like to be deduced to some type of like, gotcha moment in the show. Like, the fuck. Like, I don't want it to be Starkiller. Like, why? Why would I want it to be Starkiller? Him being a bitch to like some fucking Padawan? Like, why? I don't want it to be that. So yeah, I just thought that everybody's opinions on it was stupid to begin with. I was like, it's probably just a guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably, didn't I say that? I was like, it's probably just an Inquisitor who's just like anybody else, he's just trying to make some money and shit and do his thing.
now he's dead.
But yeah, I guess he was a zombie, so I was a little off on that one. But yeah, new episodes Tuesdays, and it is going to come out next week, right?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
12th, and it'll be
Okay.
in theaters apparently.
So
go
no
pay for that.
mid season, no mid 8 episode season hiatus and shit. That's cool.
Is this 8 or is it
our
10?
cup runneth over. Is it? I don't know.
Pretty sure it's 8.
Yeah, they're normally 8. Which I think they're going to be scaling back on those, right? I think they're going to do less shows but more episodes. I think that's what Iger mentioned. We will see. I don't know. I'm liking it. I know that you don't really care for it because of how tightly it is associated with Rebels, and I don't blame you, to be honest. But I think they're pulling off some of the funky shit. The whales look dope. The characters don't look corny. I'm fucking mad triggered about that mural on the wall and shit. This is like my only thing about the show that I don't like. And I think once Thrawn pops in, like, the show's gonna get fucking good, bro. Like, Thrawn is insane, bro. Like, Thrawn is a fucking crazy character. He's just intimidating.
$5 he doesn't show up until the end of the season.
I mean, based on this leaks, I mean, it's probably going to be next episode, to be honest. And he's going to be the big bad for Filoni's movie. So he's going to be a long-standing character. He is an absolute ruthless individual, so it'll be dope to see. Let's move on. We're going to let you have your moment with the Starfield, since you're the one
Let's
with
move
the
on to some more
experience
boring
and
news.
shit. Whoa, it's not that boring. So Starfield just came out. What was it, like Wednesday or some shit? I don't know. Whatever the fuck. Friday or whatever. I was watching some streams, looking pretty good. Didn't see too many bugs, which, fucking shocked, it being a Bethesda game.
You just hate shitting all over Bethesda.
But what
What did they do to you?
They
Produced shitty games.
yeah, so he's like, yes,
Finish
about
Cheerios.
Fallout 76,
Took out everybody's money from cheap gym bags and
Nuka-Cola, the bottles, the fucking rum that they released that tasted like horse piss, all the clothes that was made like from Wish and shit that they try to sell for like hundreds of dollars. Yeah, fuck them. I just think that they're like, yeah, they make some good games, and I'll give Elder Scrolls, whatever the fuck it is, coming out in 2096, whatever the fucking next Elder
eventually.
Scrolls.
I mean, it only
Yeah.
took 25 years for this game to come out.
Yeah. But I'm actually impressed with the fact that it does look functional, to be honest. Like,
I mean,
I know
when
that
it
sounds
was
bad,
released
but
that night, it downloaded really well. It didn't really I think they were posting some stuff on X. I was gonna say Twitter, but
I just
it's
think
X.
of like literally
Um,
like X-Pac and shit. Every time you say that, it's like just WWF and shit. It's like
Suck
fuck
it.
it,
it is-
fuck.
I just thrust my hands at my hips every
Just
time
say
I see
Twitter. I don't
X.
even want to think about it. And shit.
So as they were saying on Twitter, they were reporting, like, give us time because this is a huge download. I think it was 100 gigs.
I think 146 gigabytes or some shit like that is like insane.
It only took me an hour to download off of Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. It loaded up right away. It started up right away. So there was no bugs on that end. PC people were saying it was kind of like laggy to start, but the servers were just taking
That's
an overwhelming hit.
so relative to your setup, though, that it's kind of hard to just use that as a base. So many different graphics cards and processors and motherboards and so many different factors. I think the main constant would be like a console. You know what I mean? Like how many bugs are popping up in gameplay when you're playing on your Xbox and yada yada yada. You know?
Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of the PC stuff, and not a lot of people have been reporting a bunch of stuff. So far so good. It's running smooth. I mean,
You're gonna take into consideration that this is a heavy mod game too. It seems a lot more open to mods than previous Bethesda games, although you have tons of mods for Bethesda games, like every Bethesda game. However, this one seems like they were more upfront with it and willing to like just that's the focus, you know, as people can play with it type thing.
yeah.
I know that there's certain like dialogue mods already that improve certain things and other like visual mods and real simple issues that should have been easily sorted out that weren't being taken care of by the modding community. So, you know, there's more there, not just the game itself. You know what I mean? There could be potential in the future where people start and like, hey, how about we turn all the ships into fucking Star Wars ships? And then they get like DMCA'd because fucking Disney don't fuck around. But you know what I mean? Like you could have that, right? Where like somebody could reskin the entire game to be fucking in the Marvel universe where you're flying, you know, the Guardian ship and you know, like people could do that. People go fucking crazy with these mods. That's when I'll buy it. When it's $20 on sale, deluxe edition, fucking Cyber Monday, once mods are out, like that's
It'll probably be
that's
like
it.
that by the end of November and shit. By
Maybe.
Friday.
Maybe. I mean, if there's a $5 for 1 month of you know Game Pass Ultimate, I'll play it. But probably not gonna be a game I'm gonna buy for full price.
I mean, so far, PC World gives it a 5 out of 5. IGN 7 out of 10. It's a slow game.
A 5 out of
boring.
5 and a 7 out of 10 were the two comparable.
That's like
Yeah.
so.
What the
far
fuck?
It's off. Yeah.
That is a divisive deal. Whoever wrote that 5 out of 5 loves them some fucking dialogue.
It's very dialogue heavy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
The game is very slow. I think I'm already like 10 hours into it, and it's just dragging.
How's it feel though? Like I like to just soak in the environment, how I feel in the world, and how I'm moving around. And does it feel like I'm in that universe? You know what I mean? Or does it feel like Cyberpunk, where I'm kind of just walking on top of a picture of that world? That's kind of how I think of Cyberpunk.
Ah, man! Now that you brought in Cyberpunk, that actually kind of.
Because it's
No,
like
I think it's better than Cyberpunk. I think you could actually feel like you're immersed into that.
I was gonna say
that
it
universe.
does look like it's better than
Yeah.
that, you know. It's like there's obviously the illusion of size. Like I heard, what I was gonna bring up actually is people going to like boundary limits. People, I think Alana Pierce spent 8 hours flying,
like 7.5.
7 to 8 hours flying in one direction to manually fly onto a planet from orbit. And she basically just went right through it. Like it was just a no-clip object. Just as soon as she got to the planet, it was just a picture, and she just flew right through the picture, and that was that type shit. You know what I mean? So it's the illusion of open world, and this is what I was talking about. And people were just like, "No, no!" I was like, "It's gonna be like Destiny, my guy. Like it's gonna be like fucking Lego Star Wars, right? It's gonna be where." you think you're flying around in orbit, or in the, the upper atmosphere. You're doing this and this is like, but it's going to be, the second that they have to dramatically change what you're doing in the game, right? From flying to space to then entering an atmosphere and then landing and shit. They're going to have a cutscene, right? They're
That
not
takes
going
a
to.
lot.
They're not going to have that seamless transition. That's the pull. They've already told you that. That's not No Man's. It's not going to be No Man's Sky. That's it. So there's going to be. You're just going to have one level, right, where you're a map essentially, where you're looking down on the planet that you're in orbit of, and you could do some things exactly like Lego Star Wars, and that's kind of what it looked like it was. And yeah, you can fly in different directions. However, the visuals of what you're seeing when in that state of play is their visual, only. Like Alana Pierce did, where she flew to go to that planet that she sees way over there, and when she got there, it was just a picture because that's not how it's intended to be reached. You know what I mean?
That's so boring too, because you know how much, you know how long that takes.
Yeah. I mean, she
It
probably
takes
just
for-
put a weight on her W key, bro. Just sit there and talk to chat and accept fucking donations. I'd be down.
I
with
was
shit.
like legit like flying towards a planet, and I'm just like, dude, this is taking forever. It's not even getting bigger.
Did it even
It's just, like,
notice? Yeah, I was
sitting
gonna
there.
say, did you even notice it getting bigger or
No,
anything?
that's how long it takes. And I even gave, because like you have to like in your ship, you're able to disperse like little blocks to like certain things that your ship is, like your weaponry,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
then to
yeah.
like your
Mhm.
speed, right?
Shields. And,
So I
yeah.
gave everything to my speed. So I'm going like balls out,
Mhm.
and I'm barely like, I feel like I'm barely moving, and the planet's just like not even like changing in size.
Damn.
And I'm like, dude, this takes forever.
Which I mean would be cool if there was a way of actually using and playing that. If you could cover those distance faster, if there was a reason to actually do it, like landing on the surface and yada yada yada. But
Yeah, the only thing that they give you is like a cutscene of the gravity jump, the grav jump. So basically, you're gonna jump from one system to another.
mhm.
So you have to shift over everything to your grav, and then it's a cutscene of your ship taking off.
And then just fade into scene of you in New Galaxy, and then like.
Which is just another repeat of what you were in.
Now, given I really like the whole divert power on ships, it's exactly like where it looked like squadrons. Where
You got to pay attention to that shit.
yeah, no, it's like second nature. It's like okay, I need to pull distance away, so I divert all to speed, and then I need to change
Shield.
direction really quick, so I need to shift shield to forward, and then like kick into like a 180 turn. So like you're adjusting where the power is
Yeah,
going.
I totally
appropriately.
forgot that I had
It's fun.
all my shit in one block. And then some
Fucking-
ship came up and rolled up and was like, "Who are you?" And then like started shooting at me, and I had nothing in my
Yeah,
weaponry.
and
I was
you're
like, "Oh
done,
fuck!"
Yeah, and that's another thing. You can't have power and shields and guns at the same time, so you need to like delegate, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the fun. I mean, if not, it'd be kind of fucking boring to be honest. Like flying
Well,
around,
basically,
just
you're just
shooting
flying
at
around,
things.
yeah.
That's, yeah, just like okay.
That's like any other space game that you could play. So it keeps you on your toes. I mean, but the gameplay is just slow.
Correct me if
trying
I'm
to do
wrong. You
missions and
cannot
shit.
fly on the surface of a planet.
Nope,
You're fucking lying.
you cannot. So what you have to do is look at your planet and where you're at. Right. You
Yeah.
already landed in one spot, which is another cutscene of you just landing, and
I saw it.
then
It's full
your
cutscene,
next
too.
scene is just you sitting in your pilot seat, and then it gives you the option to stand
Yeah.
up, which is weird, to get out or take off again.
So you
And when
never
you take off-
physically like control the ship other
Negative.
than in orbit. Ooh, that's a little rough. Now, yeah, it does pose an issue of like what happens when you reach the end of the play zone. It's going to be weird and awkward. So just don't give them the ability to fly.
So basically, if you want to go to the other side of the planet to go to like some fracking site, you have to get back in your ship, do another cutscene, say fly to this spot. You click X, and then you're over.
And it is a full cutscene too. It's like you
Yeah.
click where you want to go, and it immediately goes into a cutscene of like your cargo hold closing. The you starts
You
to
know,
take off and all
The
that. shit. It's
engines
like,
light up, and everything takes off, and
It's kind of
It's-
part of the fun part of like doing that spaceship is being able to like free fly and land and all that shit.
yeah, the only flying you're really doing is when you're in space. That's basically it. But like you shoot, I forget what they're called. They're like pirates and shit. But the pirates are easier to kill, and then there's like these guard types, and they're the hard ones to kill. And you're just nailing them in the head, and nothing is happening.
just
And you're
tanking.
like, what the fuck? And then you run out of ammo because you didn't pick up enough of that specific ammo. So now you got to run through your inventory, change a gun, and then get back into the gunfight. So you can't swap between guns very easily.
What's Halo, the big ones? What's it called? God damn it. The big boys, Kenny. The one with the spikes on the back, and then they got
the
the big
hunters?
Yeah, the
The
hunters.
hunters.
Yeah. So basically, they're just hunters. Where
Dude,
you're
I
just
can
sitting
kill a
there-
hunter. Like, just give me a rocket launcher, and I'll just sit there for days, and I could kill a hunter.
Yeah, you
I,
have to sit there
I
for
could
days.
see that, right? But this is like a regular dude, just in some gnarly out spacesuit.
This is basically Division.
So it's like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't know.
Sounds like
It's just-
Division, Kenny. Where you just
And then-
Yeah,
lay
that
in,
too,
lay,
yeah,
lay
Division,
into
yeah.
them and just sit there, let them soak up all the rounds and your ammo and shit. Waiting for
And
them
it's
to
funny
die.
too, because like a lot of the game is like looting. You gotta go around and you just gotta loot a lot of shit. And any object that you see, you can basically pick up and put in your pack.
Ooh,
So
I
you
do
start to
that.
you pick up like food and stuff, right? So that goes towards your health.
That's
You pick up
Skyrim was
ammo
like
and
that
all
too.
this stuff. But then the dude that you're traveling with, you're like, your shipmate or whatever, you start to like gain throughout the game. He starts telling you like, dude, you're just gonna pick up everything. Is that what you really need right now? He
I'm
starts
like,
like
yeah,
giving you
bro.
shit, and you're like,
Yeah.
bro. And then it starts to tell you that you can't hyper jump because you're too heavy.
Your vehicle. I mean,
No, you like it's something like you couldn't.
You're
I
too
couldn't.
fat.
damn,
So it gives
it's
you,
got
like, a
pressure
limit.
sensitivity on your commander seat and shit. Be like,
And I'm like,
oh,
what
you
the
better go do
fuck,
some
dude?
laps real quick. Come back and shit.
So I realized that I was carrying like 6 different spacesuits, 7 different helmets.
In your
I had
shoes.
guess that makes
17
sense.
guns. Like I started just dropping all my inventory. My ship right now looks like shit.
It's piles
It's
of
like
shit. It's
everything
You're
is-
trying to, it's like you're trying
You've
to
seen that?
board
You've seen that
a
video with the
airline.
potatoes, right?
Yeah, the potato.
Yeah, the-
impressive. Actually,
Right?
the physics on that was impressive. I
So
also
it's
saw a
like-
video of some lady. She's a developer on it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not the type like I go on missions. I just immediately want to steal people's stuff. So I like
Oh,
to go
dude,
on
and then
people's
if you-
ships and just take their sandwiches. So I have a room on my ship just filled with sandwiches. And it's just a pile of sandwiches on a table. And I was like, that is literally my wife, bro. Like that's exactly what she does in video games. She goes and steals hats and shit, and she just keeps them. I'm like, why do
That's her-
chicks do that? Like, why do chicks play video games?
Klepto, and that's deep inside of her that she's able to express out in a
It's
video
hoards
game.
hats. Like, why? What is that? Where'd you come up with that idea?
And then like I don't know how I ended up in jail because I was smuggling something and then I got searched before I entered the atmosphere. So then
It's
I got thrown in
immediate too,
jail,
right?
right?
It's
Yeah.
immediate. Yeah.
So you either pay the credit, you pay the fine, you get it revoked, right? Or you say, basically catch me if you can, and you just bounce, and then all of a sudden they start chasing you, start shooting you. So then, I think I paid the credit, paid the fine, ended up in jail. Didn't realize I was in jail. Saw a health pack on the wall. Ripped a health pack off the wall, and the dude like immediately behind me, he's like, "Hey, you're under arrest." And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!"
You got arrested for
I-
stealing something in
where did
prison
you
and shit?
come from? And then next thing you know, I'm getting shot at. I was like, "Oh fuck, man!"
Yeah, I've seen people where they're literally they fire their gun or they punch somebody because they died so fast and ended up in prison that they interacted immediately with the people like in the waiting room of the prison. Like they just materialized. It's like in the middle of a click, the death was so quick. It got pretty funny at one point, but it also triggered people to start like immediately attacking them when they died, and it looked like a fucking shit show. So I'm sure those things will be sorted out, but there's some pretty funny moments that I've seen pop up so far,
And
but
then-
nothing game breaking, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, but the stairs are funny though. I don't know if you've seen videos of those things.
No.
The NPC stairs. Supposedly, like they said, like the graphics are like the greatest thing, but then they said like under the good lighting and at a regular angle. So if you start looking at people like from the side or weird, they start like just kind of side eyeing you with like these giant eyeballs
What
with
the
like
fuck?
no expression as they're just walking by you.
And you can kind of like go in people's heads too, right? And like see through their heads, I think, or you can like clip
Yeah,
through people
you
and like
just-
see through their teeth and shit. You can see their eyeballs. The usual shit, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the charm of games, to be honest, and shit. You need them to
Like,
be a
is
little
it the
fucked up.
greatest game?
No,
don't
I
think
don't
so.
think I've heard one single person say that it's game of the year worthy.
It hasn't been. Yeah, it hasn't been put there yet, unless they fix some things. But
However,
It's
DLC
just-
could have some potential if they were like, okay, you know what, let's just get a little crazy with it. You know what I mean? Let's introduce a new alien race that starts attacking and shit. Let's have a war sector where there's an area where people are just in perpetual war. Let's do this. Maybe we add this. Like the game could be built on to where in a couple years it could be like actually could be one of the best games like ever made. You don't know.
it's not yet.
Yeah, as of right now. But
Yeah.
however, for a Bethesda game, it does seem to be the least amount of hiccups for a release.
Yeah. But I think it's maybe because they waited on for so long.
Well,
I
they're
mean, they
probably
announced this back in
so
2018.
self-conscious about it, bro. Like, Internet Historian's video on that shit just absolutely destroyed Bethesda. It's like the funniest video on the internet and shit. And then like, it's so just blatant and just shows them in such a bad light. And it's their actions, you know, it's their doing and decision making and shit. So
Yeah.
they were probably hyper conscious about how a release went. You know what I mean? Like they needed it to go as smooth as possible. No Jesus poses, no T figures just floating down hallways and shit. You know, none of that. None of that. No dongs hanging through people's clothes and shit. You know, no fucking, no AI or NPCs just materializing out of thin air, walking through walls or some shit. Have you noticed anything weird like that? Like AI walking in circles in a corner, or like
No, for the
the
most
same
part, they're
path
just
over and over and over and over
they're
again?
just walking in their normal path. I haven't seen any like actual like hardcore glitches.
Hmm.
I heard a couple of the people on PC have run into like people just running in circles, and a couple of like characters like they jump and they're just like stuck,
No.
like glitching out. But
I'm on,
for Xbox, I haven't seen very much on the console side.
I'm on the fence as to whether or not I should like spoil it for people. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like create your own adventure type thing, but
It's gonna
people
end.
people
I
are
guess.
saying that the end game is fun and that it really opens up in campaign plus or whatever. But really, like the point of the game is for you to like do the point of the campaign, which I'm not gonna like spoil. But if you've played it, like what the point of your character is and what he's doing or she is doing.
Or they, or them.
Or they, or them, depending on that whole thing. That was the biggest, funniest thing.
That that got
God,
everybody.
that guy.
That one dude was.
Oh my fucking god, bro! Like,
Jesus,
change
he
your
was-
tampon, you little bitch. Like, bro, like,
2
is it really
seconds
that
of a,
fucking
of a
bad?
selection of a game, like it's not even that critical in the gameplay. And
You
yet
had
that
to
dude
look
was
for it to
losing his
even
mind.
see it. It didn't even like make you use it or anything. It was just there.
No, it was already just there. I was like,
Oh,
okay,
oh my god, bro!
he,
Like,
him, yeah.
that's the thing. It's completely different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any opinion about all that shit, but that dude had a fucking opinion apparently.
He had a
and
meltdown, dude.
It
It was
just
a
that was a
pure
meltdown, and then
bro.
he doubled down on it because he knew that if he didn't, he looked stupid.
Exactly.
Just an embarrassing spectacle of stupidity. Like, we get it, bro. Like, you're prejudiced. Like, we get it. You don't like
Get
them.
over it.
You don't like them. You don't like what they feel or believe or anything. You don't want them to exist. You don't want to know that they exist. We get it, bro. You suck. We get it. Fuck off, idiot. Like, fuck
And
off,
back to
all
the
of
game,
you. Like, Jesus. Like, nobody cares how fucking prejudiced and stupid you are, you dick. Like, just shut the fuck up. So that fool rightfully deserved to get shit on, and he deserves to continuously get shit on until he just shuts the fuck up, because that's basically his best course of action, is to just shut up. But I digress. But yeah, the game was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it
Game's
looks
looking
good.
pretty
I'm
good.
gonna continue to keep on, playing it, and
I
just
will
drag out
give
some
it a
hours.
try. I will give it a try if I get that ultimate pass. But
I just
other
can't
than
believe
that-
some people have put 100 hours into this game already.
Oh yeah, I could probably do
Like,
it.
sweet Jesus, dude.
I don't think I would play the game without putting 100 hours into it. I think you just consume games differently. You got like other shit you're doing. It's like
Yeah.
you do other things on your free time other than play games. Some people their game
is
time is their only. That like their free time is their game time. So
Yeah.
they will fit in every inch. They'll min max is the term. Minimum effort, maximum output. Right? I think it's the actual term, but really you want the best payout for your least amount of effort and time to maximize your time spent. So like people will play it like that, you know what I mean? That's how I play RP too. It's like I go in and I just min max. I figure out the fastest and most efficient, easiest way to make money, and I do that. I just put my head down. I don't socialize. I don't talk to anybody. I don't do anything. I don't get diverted with anything else. I just repeat. And some people can burn through 100 hours like nothing doing that. You know what I mean? And I could see it. 100 hours. I see people probably having over 1,000 hours in this game easily.
Oh, for sure. There's a
Like,
lot of side
yeah.
missions.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Especially if
missions.
people start fucking around with RP with that game, It has that potential. Like imagine factions, right? Like a gang, instead of owning a block in like Grand Theft Auto, they own a planet or a planetary system, and they have resources on those planets. So you have to go in there and, actually steal resources from them and actually do things like to make drugs and sell in the galaxy and all that. So it's like there's so much potential with this type of shit.
True.
Like,
You
give it
kill
some
those
space.
animals, you get spice.
Yeah, rip out their eyeballs. In the back of their eyeballs,
Yeah,
there's a little
it's,
pouch of spice and shit.
pretty crazy. I
Yeah,
killed
yeah.
some animals on that. You,
Like
you
it-
reap spice from them.
I mean, it could be a nice sell spice, sell meat, sell pelts, just like Red Dead or anything else.
Yeah.
All that stuff could be shoehorned in. So when I look at games like this, I look for potential. It was the first time I played GTA 5 on PC, and I was driving around in first person. I told you guys I did that. I was just like looking at all the potential of how I could take something that I already liked to experience, but was really shitty because there just wasn't any other better options, and seeing it now put into a different perspective, a different world to experience it and shit. That's the potential I see with Starfield. So modding community, best of luck to you. We all know you're the real true OGs.
They got a huge platform to work off of, for sure.
Yeah, this is at least a nice little sandbox to mess around with until GTA 6 comes out.
The game is your oyster.
Yep. Next one on here, Dune 2, or whatever the fuck, Part 2, is delayed until 2024.
Who would have thought?
Wah, wah, wah.
Well, I mean, a week prior or whatever, they were like, be prepared for Dune releasing this year and shit. They had like a big like media blitz for it, and then the next week they're just like, oh yeah, it's delayed until next year sometime.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't expect anybody to go out there and do this media thing going on when they're not going to do it, right?
Well, I mean, they
That's
were
part
like,
of the strike deal.
no, I mean, that's
Basically, you don't
only,
do any. What do they call those?
the actors and the writers. Yeah, they can't do any promotional like
There you go, What do they call those
junkets.
things? Junkets.
Yeah, so like they can't do any of that type of thing. And even Sam Witwer was on Twitch like streaming and shit, and somebody asked him about Ahsoka, and he was like, or asked him about something, and he was like, I
Had to
haven't.
give a very vague.
It was a vague, but he also references like, I can't say I didn't work on Ahsoka because I did, so I don't think I can give that answer. You know what I mean? Like they're very conscious on like what
Yeah.
they can and can't say, just out of respect. However, you know what I mean? Like it's just certain people are involved. There's only two categories of people that are directly affected by the whole strike. So I mean, there's other people still working. It's just you can't get things done. And if, for example, Filoni is not on that strike. You know what I mean? He's both a producer, so he's in that producer category, which takes him out of the director category. But he is also directing and writing this. So the producer aspect of him puts him on that side of the railroad tracks. You know what I mean? Like he can still work. They can still function because they are pretty much on like an executive type level of production. Not just, they're not being paid fucking, 15 grand a year doing shit sitcom writing jobs. You know what I mean? Like they're the big dogs. So they're still working. Those people are still doing their thing. It just need the shit to blow over so we can start getting some news and stuff coming through. Dune 2, I mean, did you guys even hear a month or anything? Was it
No.
February or something? I just heard
No.
2024. Kind
I mean,
of sucks. I
They
guess.
probably just give out a date a year just because
I guess
they
they
don't even know
can.
when this
You
is
know?
going to go.
Yeah, it could be still on strike by the time.
This
that
could be a
thing-
10-year strike, bro. This could be the
Yeah.
greatest strike of history.
It'd be
We get
it'd be
nothing. Everything else just dies.
Like, end up being like the Afghani war, like a 10
Yeah,
year,
just get nothing but
15-year war
reruns.
and shit, yeah.
227.
Yeah, the trees in LA are just never going to recover and shit. It's going to be hacked down every year. Holy shit. Jesus. Next one on here.
No shade for you.
Due to an aggressive restructuring by Embracer Group, Saints Row developer Volition is being closed after 30 years.
A
Why does
shame.
that sound so long? But it was only like,
Yeah, we were like 6. I mean, me and you were.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
3.
We were playing. We were about to play Pokemon and shit when they started making games. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean that sucks. Who bought Embracer? Wasn't it like Amazon or Warner Brothers? Or we talked about it a while ago, but Embracer Group took over. I think they also bought The rights to Tomb Raider, I forget. Embracer's been making some big investments and moves.
The parent company is Nordic Game Group. I don't know if that's
Nordic, like
owned-
THQ?
Um,
Nah,
I
somebody
guess,
owns
yeah.
them. Who owns them?
yeah.
Embracer Group, or they own something. I don't know, whatever. But like, they went in and they just started hacking shit away, and it kind of sucks because Saints Row has a good following. People do kind of adore those games. I know both my wife and sister-in-law like played the shit out of those games, like growing up. I didn't. I was the GTA kid. You know what I mean? Like they were the more goofy GTA. I was like yeah, I'm gonna go pick up a hooker.
Maybe it's because they own 139 game development studios with
Yeah.
16,000 employees.
Yeah, they're just a gigantic, massive deal.
They do
And,
own THQ Nordic.
Yeah. Just when talk about monopoly, that's what people should be focusing on. Motherfuckers over here bitching about Microsoft buying fucking Activision because Activision was desperate to sell. And over here, you got
This
you
guy
got
running
this-
139.
Yeah. Oh, no biggie. No biggie. It's just no big deal.
Don't worry about me. They're small. They're
We're
small.
gonna go and kill
development
Saints Row,
studios.
though. We're gonna go and kill Saints Row. We know you people love it, but fuck you. But it is what it is. Next one. Walking through Moria in the upcoming open world Lord of the Rings game takes 2 hours.
That's
I
it.
mean, in game time,
How slow is that? Can you
I
run?
wonder if it's like running time.
I wonder if it's like Starfield where you just run, but then your CO2 goes up and you end up getting dizzy.
I mean, I'm gonna
No,
tell you
I-
right
I-
now.
I think I totally just like read that wrong or like heard that wrong. So
Well,
you're
like-
saying like actually walking through the mines of Moria
Yes.
takes 2 hours. Okay.
Through the mines of Moria.
I thought you
So-
meant
Welcome
like
back,
the
Kenny.
game was like 2 hours.
No,
Like,
no.
What the fuck?
It's like
Welcome back.
it's like literally I can walk around the entire map of GTA like twice in the matter of like 2 hours or some shit. You know what I mean? Like or like an hour or
Yeah.
maybe 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's big, but it's not that big. Just walking through the mines of Moria, yeah, is gonna be 2 hours alone to get to the other side, which is kind of cool because once you're in, you're in. You know what I mean? Like fuck, like the orcs and shit. Like you have no idea what the fuck else is in there. You got fuck, what's his name? Balrog.
The Balrog. Yeah.
Probably one of the dopest designs like ever of any like monster in history and shit. Hearing a lot of actually the correlation between that and Ahsoka, a lot of people making the whole Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White reference with Ahsoka and what she is going to like what's going to happen with her character after she leaves the world between worlds, but reference to that, the reincarnation and shit like that. But yeah, I just figured that that's a pretty chunky bit of time, man. I mean, imagine that, because in my head I still think of like the Tolkien map and like how you enter, and then you do it in the movie, right? It's like they enter this along the water and shit and the mountainside, and then it is a long, winding, weird, dark path between one side of the mountain and the other. I mean, they're probably gonna have like Gollum's little cave too somewhere in there, right? And fucking Shelob's probably bopping around in there somewhere. It's like I'm kind of ready. I didn't even know that I was ready for an open world Lord of the Rings game, dude. But I'm kind of fucking stoked for that idea, to be honest. As time goes on and the more I hear
That'd
about
be
it,
fun.
yeah, it's like I did play a little bit of Lord of the Rings online, but it was very surface level and like a weekend doing it. You know what I mean? But to be able to hop on a horse and just kind of traverse such a gigantic Tolkien-inspired map would be kind of fucking dope. I'm kind of here for that, and them not being afraid of trapping somebody in a fucking cave for 2 hours to get to the other side.
That's the minimum time.
Yeah, that's minimum time.
That's
If you-
minimum time.
if
That's
you got a
you're,
lamp
like,
and-
all like powered up and everything.
Yeah, so like I'm pretty stoked. I have no idea when it's going to take place in the time frame and yada yada yada, but I mean, they already have that map laid out. It's like I think there was some type of minor adjustments in Tolkien's like history of like placement of things, but all in all, it's pretty there for them to recreate and not fuck around with. So
No, it's gonna be a
hopefully.
PS5 game.
Ooh, nice. Hell yeah. We will have to see. I'm pretty stoked for that game. And now, knowing that it's on PS5, I'm super down for that shit.
It looks like probably October, late October.
This year?
That's what I'm reading.
Damn, fuck. That's case shit. Fucking Spider-Man 2.
I heard
Yeah,
that one got delayed. Was that story true?
Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
No. I've still seen countdowns for that shit. It's coming up soon. It's like in a month. it's like right around the corner. Like, it's very soon. Probably won't get it because I got Christmas gifts and shit to worry about. Sucks. Pirates of the Caribbean's being rebooted, boys.
Do we need it?
Yeah,
I think
was gonna
Disney
say-
needs it. I think Disney, and this is an issue with Pirates of the Caribbean, is that it was so attached to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp looks like the Crypt Keeper now. You barely understand anything that comes out of his mouth, and with all the drama with
Well, when you got
Aaron-
somebody shitting in your bed,
yeah,
I
with,
mean,
with the bed shitter, you know,
it's gonna
like
stress you out and kind of age you.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of drama there. They do need it. It's been forever, bro. Like the story has been around forever, and then not to mention, or the movies like stories, and not to mention, it's based off of a ride from the amusement park. So I mean, it's not like the movies were the original concept of the pirates. You know what I mean? Like they can totally do that. That one to me makes more sense. You know what I mean? Because yeah, they do need to get rid of their attachments to old actors. And at the same time, they need to make that money, bro. It's an IP that can just be fucking pumping out money, and they know it, and they can't do anything with it because of all this other baggage. So it has been confirmed. Again, it's tumultuous time in Hollywood, but it has been confirmed that they are going to be rebooting that. Shame. I did watch them all, I believe. I think the first like 3 I actually did enjoy. Or I didn't enjoy the 3rd and I enjoyed the 4th or something like that. I forget what it is, but it started to get a little wild, a little crazy, and I don't know, I was kind of there for it. But we will see. What's going on here? Oh yeah. I this one's the last one actually here, but My Time to Shine, hello again with a leak. What do you guys think about the idea of Sam Raimi, good old Sam Raimi, directing Secret Wars?
I mean, I would be down for it.
So I mean, we have Evil Dead, right? And then you have Army of Darkness, and then you have Spider-Man, the original trilogy. Then you have Mom, right? Multiverse of Madness was his. Why in the fuck is he being chosen for Secret Wars specifically? Like I don't understand.
Unless they're gonna go like a different twist on it.
Dang, I was gonna say that, like an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Shyamalan. I love how everybody either it's a Mandela effect or just literally everybody in United States just mispronounced that dude's name in the 90s or the early 2000s and shit.
It's because I don't care.
Yeah, that's also known. But what was it? It was M. Night Shyamalan is what I used to say, and it's not. It's Shyamalan or some shit. No disrespect. Apologies.
Still don't care.
But yeah,
Said
I
what I
mean,
said.
I don't know. Like, I don't even think. I think that it's kind of like it felt like it was going to come out strong with the whole scroll thing and all that, but it's kind of like landed on its face. You know what I mean? Like, I think people do kind of consider it to be like filler story. Like, people do want to see Wolverine. They want to see the X-Men. They want to see Fantastic Four. They don't really give a fuck about this alien race that's coming to, like, you know, coerce and infiltrate. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a cool concept in terms of like maybe a once or, you know, 1 or 2 movie, you know, type thing, just like Civil War and Winter Soldier. You know, those are 2 spy
They're, like,
thriller
basing
type
this whole
things, you know?
phase off of Secret Wars.
And it's like, I don't think it has that gumption of holding, you know, the attention. So we're gonna have to see. Like, I'm not really too stoked about anything else for the rest of the phase, you know, like not even like Kang Dynasty. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about any of this shit. Like,
Well, that's
only
dead,
one-
right?
what? No,
No?
he's
No,
actually
he's-
making he's confirmed this morning he's making multiple appearances in season 2 of Loki.
Oh, okay.
And also those charges were dropped, and he's like countersuing now because it's like
Yeah.
defamation and shit. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. All I know is that it's hard to trust anybody in Hollywood because they all got some bullshit. Fucking what's his name, Masterson over here getting
30 years.
30 to life. I'm like, holy shit.
Drew Barry didn't like that 70s show.
It's kind of hard, man. I like that show a lot. That was a good show growing up. Yeah, I heard Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis like wrote favoring letters to the court, you know, trying to like vouch for him and shit like that.
That's probably what killed it for him.
Probably wasn't a good look.
Was Ashton Kutcher writing a letter?
Well, there was a clip from God, it was like Conan O'Brien from I think 2006. You know what I mean? Like this is back when like the show was still doing its thing, and like Conan wasn't having it, like he wasn't vibing on it, and like Masterson made like a joke, and then he pretty blatantly responded like, I've heard about you and like things that you've done and you're gonna get caught one day. And then like Masterson was like, yeah, I will. And I guess that's what he was referring to, is that this fool's been out there fucking doing this shit since back when he was like on the show, and that like it was actually synonymous in the industry, you know what I mean? To where fucking Conan O'Brien is aware of it, you know what I mean? Like how the fuck is that, you know? How's that? But yeah, I guess through just networking in Hollywood, it was known that this dude was kind of like a fucking creep and shit. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, well, eat shit, whatever. Fuck you, bitch. Like I don't care. You have no, I have no connection to that actor whatsoever. He's not in anything. Yeah. It's like it kind of hurt when Allison Mack ended up being like a crazy bitch and shit, because you know, it was like, damn, you know, fucking Smallville and shit, you know. But this is like, fuck that. I don't give a shit. Fuck whatever. Well, Ron prison, bitch.
He was in Face Off, bro.
As who?
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up. He's like,
Yeah,
like a mafia grunt number 6
Legit.
and shit. Oh my god, he probably is like some dude in like the back of a van or some shit.
He was in Beethoven's Second.
Now, given I like the character on the show, probably more than most other characters, but that doesn't mean that
Faculty.
it doesn't mean that's who he was. You know what I mean? That's just how the character was written. But apparently, him as a person was like super creepy and shit like that. Regardless, don't know how we got here from Sam Raimi being on Secret Wars, but here we are.
A very hard detour.
You know how we do it. But yeah, that is the leak for Secret Wars, that Sam Raimi is going to be behind it, and I don't know if he even has the ability to make me interested in that.
Maybe they're just reaching. I mean, just to bring anything back.
Just to keep like information flowing is what they're doing, because there's nothing. I don't know. Warner Brothers now is over here talking about how they're going to lose $300+ million from all this bullshit. When in, I think less than a month ago they were talking about how they were $100 million up because of it. Didn't we talk about that? The fuck are they talking about? Like, just shut up.
Maybe it's projected. That's probably what it was. They probably had these movies lined up, and they were like, "Oh, these movies were going to gross this much, projectedly for the rest of the year," but as we're not producing anything, we're saving $100 million because we're not paying.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, and now they're just like, okay, so now this other graph says if we were actually making movies, we would be making money instead of
it's a PowerPoint with a star swipe that just comes out, and it's another graph that shows an arrow going down,
and it's all dramatic and like dark and red and like crazy. Yeah.
Fucking PowerPoints.
Yeah, well, you know, hopefully we get some fucking solidarity in the film industry, for fuck's sake, because we need some shit to talk about. But that is pretty much it for the stories. It's pretty short. We did talk quite a bit about Ahsoka though, and some Starfield shit, but you know, it is what it is. Deal with it. This week, free on Epic Game Store until September 14th. It's Spell Drifter. It looks like a turn-based RPG. It just depends on what you like, you know, pick your poison. Free's good price, boys. It is what it is. Next week, since we won't, you know, we're not going to film next week. And I did see it. 911 Operator is free starting on the 14th. So definitely check that one out. Not sure if you guys have played that. I think that's I played that on my Switch. I think I played it on my Switch. I mean, it's really just like a time and you know, resource management game. You know, where you're the operator, you're getting calls on a map of armed robbery, break-in.
You get to hang up on people.
You can hang up on people. You can try to tell them to like. You can tell them to calm down. You can give them information or suggestions or whatever that could be right or wrong, and people could fucking die, houses can burn down. You know, like you're looking down at a map and you're seeing where blips are popping up, and you're hearing dialogue of people calling in shit. You know what I mean? You're listening for things, you're making assessments, you're judging. And then at the same time, there's a fucking fire going on at the other side of the city, so you're telling fire to disperse to that location, and then cops
Let
to
it
disperse.
burn.
It's fun. I do like those games, and it being free, I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of that for next week, starting on the 14th over on Steam or on Epic. Give that one a shot for sure. And that is it for this week's show. Find us at Nerd Chatter Show on Threads, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can find Nerd Chatter Podcast anywhere you can find podcasts, including Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, and pretty much anywhere else you can find podcasts. Make sure to subscribe and follow while you're there. It'd be much appreciated. All of our episodes are uploaded onto our YouTube channel, and we do some random streams over on Kick. I'm not going to be sticking to the weekly thing anymore just because they were kind of lame, in the sense where it's like I'm playing games that take up a lot of time, and then I would play a different game for those streams because I didn't want to have it conflict and yada yada yada. So not too many people watching except for fucking Kenny, but it is what it is. Someone probably do some random new game comes out, or maybe I get Starfield or Spider-Man comes out and I get it, and then stream over there. If there's a game that we can all play that we want to get fucking drunk on a Saturday or whatever and go and play party games, we'll do that over there on Kick. Nerd Chatter over there, not Nerd Chatter Podcast or Nerd Chatter Show, just Nerd Chatter. If you can support us on there with sub and like, would be appreciated as well. Help us grow and all that good shit. Not even paying attention to Discord anymore. I didn't even look at that fucking thing. I know the bot's still working because I see it pop up, but other than that, I don't even know if people are joining it. Whatever. It is what it is. Boys, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Right on.
Always, yeah. Thanks for having us.
You're starting to stream again now, right, Lucas? You got fucking bored seeing as I had to fucking fire up a stream?
Yeah, I did.
I know from the 9
Starfield.
different emails I had, fucking God damn it.
Yeah.
I had to fix a lot of things.
But you've relocated over to YouTube, right? So you can get a higher resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can just send me a link and I'll put it in the description or whatever, and then people can check that out over on YouTube. My streaming, I was streaming on McFly at Kick, but Kick is kind of gross right now. Back over on Twitch, go and check that out. I'll put the link down in the description as well. We are out of here. Catch you in a couple weeks.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.